Hey everyone, it's David out here in Korea on week 22. Sorry for the late posting, but I had to do a lot of work this week and I really wasn't able to get to making a video until way later in the week than I normally do. This week started off nice. Still a little bit cold, a little bit chilly. Warm weather's on the way, but yeah. I got a box early in this week from my mom, and I had mentioned that I needed some art supplies because I was getting back into drawing and there's really nothing out here available. So she ended up sending me a whole box full of stuff and included some snacks from H-E-B, and she included this as well, and I couldn't figure out what this was. I was like, is this a dinner plate? But she put a note in there with it also, and the note basically says that it's a door hanger, but it has magnetized pieces on it so you can change them out for the season. So I thought that was really cool, so thank you for that, Mom. That's pretty neat. So I need to put it on my door. I haven't put it on there yet. Like I said, just been too busy. But I finally have a day off today, so I'll probably end up doing that later today. I also got a couple of drawing tablets that she sent. And she sent a whole bunch of different ones. And so I'm going to try my hands at a couple of different mediums. And I'm really excited to get back into that artwork again. When I was younger, I used to do that a whole lot. And then I just kind of got out of it whenever I got a little bit older and occupied with life, and now that I got a little bit of time getting back into it again. So she sent a whole bunch of supplies, and then she also sent this, and I said, oh boy, chocolate, and then opened it up and saw the note. It says not chocolate. Like, oh man. And then opened up the next thing, and she left a piece of chocolate in there for me, so thanks, Mom. But got a whole bunch of pens and charcoal. This is kind of what I've been using lately, so Mom included a whole bunch of that, so thank you again, Mom. Some more door hangers, and I thought this was pretty cool. This is black paper, and there's some white pencils in there too, so I'm gonna try my hand at that as well. I'm really excited to try all of this stuff. A lot of things I haven't tried to draw with before, so like I said, very excited to try it all out. And thanks again, Mom, for sending all that, so I'll be posting what I work on later. Because I had to work so much this week, I tried to prep all my meals ahead of time. So I ended up having to prep some lunches and some dinners, just because I was going to be working pretty well from sunup to sundown. And so I ended up making some marinated tofu, and I know a lot of people will scoff at tofu, but as I'm getting older, I'm trying to be a little bit more health conscious and can't eat as much as red meat as I used to, or much fatty foods as I used to, and I take that in consideration now that I'm over 40 years old. I really want to be able to live long enough, and with my family's health history, I think it's probably a good idea for me to be a little bit more health conscious about my exercise and diet. So I made a couple of crispy rice balls. Basically just make rice, form it up into the ball, and throw it in the air fryer, and it gets this hard crust to the outside of it, and that stays nice and firm and crispy all the way through the week. So I've been making those lately. Also made a pork shoulder inside of a crock pot that Dad had sent, and along with that boiled some eggs while the pork in the crock pot finished cooking. And this crock pot is just perfect because it's just big enough for one person or make a couple meals out of. But after that was done making, I ended up separating that out into some individual trays, and that was enough for 2 days worth of lunches, and threw in the rice balls as well. And then on top of that, put some cut up onions. And then Dad had also sent me a little while back some spicy pickles, and then so I ended up putting these spicy pickles on top of there as well. And that actually turned out really good. That was a good lunch for a couple of days. So with the tofu, after it had marinated for a while, I ended up putting it in the air fryer, and I think the air fryer I use probably more than any other appliance in the kitchen at this point, just because it's so convenient. But with that tofu, I decided to put some mixed vegetables in there and get some of those healthy vitamins for the days of work. And I've been eating a whole lot of eggs lately. Eggs just have a tremendous amount of protein in them, and they're just really good for you. So I've been starting my day off with a bunch of eggs. So I ended up getting a dozen eggs and drying them off and putting them in the fridge, and then every morning I can just grab them out of a bowl and put them in my lunchbox and have them ready for in the morning. After the eggs were done, the tofu was about done too. As you can see, it crisps up pretty good, and it stays that way throughout the week. Tofu is not that great on its own, but if you marinate it and let it sit for a while in the marinade, it'll soak up all the flavors and actually turns out pretty good. And I got some of these. These things are highly addictive. I mentioned before, they're the tomatoes that are bred with stevia, and so they have a sweetness to them, and I have a serious addiction to them. I bought 2 packs of them and ate 1 pack in one day in a couple of hours, and then the other pack I divided up throughout the week. I also bought a bunch of grapes, and these grapes are massive grapes. They're called the Muscat grapes, but they're huge grapes, and they're super sweet and actually flavorful, pretty good. On the way to work for the next couple of days, it was pretty icy and very, very cold and wet, and hopefully this is the last month of all the cold and wet and raininess. And by the middle of the week, after I had put in a couple of days' work, it started to clear up just a little bit, but it was still kind of a smoggy, and the weather just wasn't that great. Still predictions for kind of wetness and dampness, so I decided I need to go back to the store to get some stuff to refuel for a couple more long shifts at work. And so I ended up going to my favorite grocery store that I ended up going to just not too far from here, and gathered some more supplies. And I decided to make a couple of items that I've made before at home, but hadn't really made out here. And since I've been out here, I've grown a little bit tired of eating out all the time and having nothing but Korean food, so I started having a hankering for American food again, and so that's kind of what I've been aiming to make lately. I also got another package on that day from my lovely wife back at home, who sent me a couple of different snacks and some drink mixes and things like that, things that I can't get out here, and I'm really appreciative of the taste of home. She sent me some more of the orange tea that I like. I think I put in another video. And also these little mini chocolate pretzels, which are super good, but you can easily eat the whole package. Some licorice of different flavors, that's really good also, and some deodorant that I can't find out here that I like. Also a straw cleaner, which I really needed for my drinking straws, and these cool kitchen cloths. And finally some sweatpants that I've been wanting from the US. Everything out here is about 2 sizes too small for me, so anything I get back from the US is always welcome. The week started getting cloudy, so I decided to go ahead and make all the meals that I needed for the rest of the week. I bought these cool quail eggs at the market that I went to, and I decided to make those with the rest of the tofu that I had. And so same process as before, just vegetables and the crisped up tofu for some of the meals. I also bought these eggs. These eggs are really, really heavy. They're super dense, and I'm not sure why, but they come in a 10-pack, and the 10-pack weighs twice as much as the 12-pack. But I made those eggs, and I also made these little quail eggs. And I don't know why I got quail eggs, just for the fun of it, I guess. Like I said, I've been eating a whole lot of eggs lately, but these quail eggs are just cool little novelty eggs, I guess, to have. They taste just like regular eggs, but just a little bite-sized. So I did those, and then also decided to make something called kimbap. And kimbap is kind of like a sushi roll, but the ingredients in it aren't necessarily fish-based. They're meant to have a little bit more longevity than what a sushi would, and so you could pretty well put whatever you want to in it. So I decided to put some cabbage in it, and then this onion. Whenever you buy onion out here from the local stores, they cut the top and the bottom off for you and skin it, and then put it in plastic wrap. So I decided to do cabbage, some onion, and then to that I also was looking for a little bit more natural vitamins in there, and so I decided to put some of these bean sprouts in there. And then to make the kimbap, you usually put some kind of fish substitute in there, and this is just the imitation crab, and I ended up putting that in there as well. But to start it all out, you just take some rice and put it inside of a slab of seaweed, and once you got enough rice in there, you put your fish substitute on top of it, and then lay out the bean sprouts, and then on top of that put some onion. And like I said, you put whatever you want to, but I put the onion and the cabbage on there, and then once that's in there, it's an easy process just to roll it all up into into like a sushi roll. And then once you have it all rolled up, you just make sure it's nice and secure, tightly packed in there, and then move on to cutting it. So you cut it in half, and then once you cut that into half, you take those two and you cut those into thirds, and then repeat the process. And then before long, you got rolls that look kind of like sushi rolls. And then so I packed these up, and I was packing 3 days worth, and then so I just repeated the process 3 more times, and then ended up having enough for all my lunches for the next couple of days. So after I packed those up, it was time to pack up the tofu and the vegetables, and then after that, stuck them in the fridge, and then I went to the mailroom because I got another package, and this package was a bunch of bread pans that I had been needing to make a copycat Schlotzsky's bread recipe. So thank you, Dad, for sending those over. I'll be making that bread as soon as I possibly can when I get some time. Wrapped up the week. It was very foggy whenever I looked outside in the morning, and pretty well stayed like this for a good majority of the day, and then pretty well almost every day waking up after that. It was really foggy outside and kind of damp. The temperature raised just a little bit to keep it from freezing, which was nice, but throughout the rest of the week, this is pretty well what the weather looked like, and I really didn't see the sun for the past couple of days, so this is my view of the weather. So thanks everybody for watching. Sorry again for the late post, but should be getting back on track.